Can you hear us?
Yes.
Hi. Hi,
Hi.
Sudha. Lovely meeting you. Thank you so much for taking time.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Actually, as I've told that I'm working on this project and right now doing my master's at Royal College of Arts. And I was looking into how objects have life and how can even objects have life and how we define life and can we define life in a certain different way. And through research I came up with to your blog and to your work and Dr. Bish's work, and I thought like it will be really good for me to kind of know more from you, that might help my research and everything. And just to make sure that I am recording the entire conversation for further reference or any of those things. So
Sure.
yeah, okay. So
Yeah, sure.
I'll directly go to my questions that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did you decide to join Dr. Bish in his studies? Like that's yeah.
hmm I had done my PhD in experimental psychology and had begun to get interested in parapsychology. Unfortunately, there were hardly any places in India where parapsychology could be pursued. I was discussing this with a geologist friend of mine who told me about Dr. Bish, and I thought maybe there is some common ground there. I sought him out, and I still remember him telling me, young lady, if you're serious about this, you will have to be prepared for your peers thinking of you as a quack. And I said, better be a quack quack than a hee haw. We both laughed and knew we understood the issue.
What issue are you talking about, and like what is the issue?
The issue is the notion of science. It's like he who must not be named, like Voldemort. The moment you even say Vol, the self-proclaimed hardline scientists wince, and they are as close to to even discussing the whole thing as stubborn mules are. In case you didn't get my he/ho joke.
No, we did. I kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
uh, uh, why do you think the case is like this? Like, why do you think this is the case?
It's a complicated question that you're asking, but I can say that at least in the developing countries like ours, there is still this whole complex of what the peers in developed countries will think.
Okay.
We are just not open to a potentially rich field of indigenous peoples and their knowledge that we have in our country. I mean, maybe there is nothing to it. Maybe it's all very airy fairy, but someone's got to make the effort of finding out. And ironically, isn't it more scientific to be open to testing than turn a blind eye to it? And this is exactly what Dr. Bisht was saying, nothing less, nothing more, that maybe the herdsmen could sense something that we who are far removed from nature cannot.
But there are only three of them, right?
Mm, Yeah. See, there are two kinds of scientists, and this is not my original statement, but one I had read in Dr. Ramachandran's book on the phenomena of phantom arms. So, the two kinds of scientists are one who rely on large numbers and statistical significance, and others who are fascinated by the one odd but fascinating outlier. And with the first kind, even if a full grown man disappeared in front of their eyes, they would need 99 more before their brows show any movement. As the joke goes, these 99 disappearing subjects will most likely be first year students on whom most scientific knowledge is constructed. But jokes apart, there is credit to their ways, but there is as much credit to the ways of the other kinds of scientists who follow up on a single unusual event.
Right. But how does it all lead to the even more controversial claims of stones having consciousness?
Let me clarify that we have not yet made that claim. As of now, we have only come to the conclusion that there is something that these herdsmen sense which is unusual. What is the nature of this sensation? We cannot yet be sure of, though it appears to be not smell as Dr. Bisht was first expecting.
Okay, that sounds good. How do you know that? Like, how did you come to it? Yeah.
We know that because we, with the permission of our subjects, temporarily numbed their sense of smell, and they could still sense the stones, right? So, what is interesting is that apparently they are able to sense the stones only after they have breathed upon it as its reaction. And this apparent reactivity of the stones makes us open to the question of consciousness in stones, perhaps of an even lower order than plants.
Okay. And if this turned out to be true, we are certainly going to have a change in the expression of stone dead, right?
Oh, yes, but let's say making the scientists believe it is going to be harder than getting blood out of stone. Well, puns apart, the consequences could be massive. Some might even say monolithic. But seriously, gems and astrology industry could boom. Construction industry may face protests. They might even try to sabotage the findings the day they start taking us seriously. Thankfully, they don't till now. Kids could be chastened for casually kicking stones on sidewalks, and
Yeah.
the sentimental source may even keep them as pets. Who knows? There might even be songs about them,
You're right.
written by all kinds of stone musicians. Geez, I'm on a roll.
Yeah. Sounds like a science fiction, honestly.
So did telephone once upon a time.
That's a good logic. That's completely acceptable. Now, again, coming back to a serious question, what's next on your timeline? Like, what are the experiments that you're looking into?
We're on to something very interesting. To further probe the nature of interaction between the herdsmen and the stones. So we decided to use this technique of brain imaging on them,
Okay.
and it detects which regions of the brains are processing the stimuli presented, which in our case is the stones, to blindfold subjects. We found increased activity in a region called ACC, and I'm not going to use long names for simplicity.
Right.
And this region is associated with heightened awareness, and then we also found activity in the amygdala. This region is associated with memory and emotional learning, and it is really the more primitive part of our brains. So, although this is still too early to say, there is a possibility that indeed the subjects are sensing something by virtue of being more aware of the signals, and which may be a more primitive instinct, a sort of a learned emotional reaction to certain meaningful elements in their environments.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. My last question. It's kind of sensitive. How has the passing away of Dr. Briss affected this entire study or this venture of yours?
Uh, it has been hard on all of us, but it has also given a push to us to work hard and not let his vision and efforts come to naught. But what will be missed is his sense of humor. Even when he was diagnosed with his illness, in one of our last conversations, he jokingly said, "When they write my epitaph, make sure they treat the damn stone with some respect."
That sounds very morally
Yeah,
based.
that's
Yeah,
very
that's
much like him.
yeah. Okay, nice. Thank you so much, Sudha, for talking with
Welcome.
me, and thank you very much. I will keep you updated with what's happening in my side, and if I can anyways help you out with anything, I would be love to. Please pop up a mail or
Sure,
something. Thank you again so much.
sure.
Yeah.
My pleasure entirely.
Okay. Bye bye. Lovely talking to you.
Bye. Bye. Lovely talking to you too.